Hi, and welcome to the Cemetery Road, guys. A live stream dedicated to talking about the trip that myself and Cassie and Ron of Weeping Willow Paranormal just went on. We returned to the town of Louisville and some surrounding areas, shot some cemeteries, checked out some breweries and barbecue, and did a whole bunch of stuff. And we wanted to come on here and chit chat with you guys, tell you guys about the trip and everything. Let you guys ask questions if need be, and just reconnect because it's been a while since we've been able to chit chat with you guys. And I can't do any of that without these two, Cassie and
Hi,
Ron,
guys.
Weeping Willow
Welcome, buddy.
Paranormal. We just got back from a big old trip. I just got back. It's been a few weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah,
you
2
know,
weeks.
we went on the trip. It was a week-long event. We had a ton of fun. We were going pretty much the entire time. I came home, had to go right back to work. Not only work, but the Ren Fair that I go to for 6 weeks out of every year jumped off right on the day I got home or the day after I got home. And so I've been just swamped with work, swamped with Ren Fair. I've barely been able to talk to you guys since the trip. And so this is kind of the first time we've gotten to sit down and chit chat and kind of like reconnect and
Yep.
reminisce about the whole thing. And I'm
Yeah.
glad to be able to do it with you guys in the chat. Those of you in the chat right now, we got Betty, as always. We got Mike. Oh, we've got, let's see, Kathy Evans is here. John is here. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. And if you guys have any questions randomly about our trip or whatever we're talking about or any of that, just throw them in the chat. I'll highlight them and we'll chit chat about them. But I guess we should just start out of like, why did we go back to Louisville? Like, you guys were just there last year. Why are you going back? And I do want to preface this thing as this was not a paranormal investigation road trip like
No.
the last time. Last time it was like a big old business friend trip kind of thing of going to various haunted locations, gathering content for our channels. That was kind of like the focus of that trip. This time it was just for the three of us to hang out as friends. So we
Yeah.
didn't go do any paranormal investigations. We kind of had some spots where we could have, but honestly, the way our schedule was shaken out, the way the trip was shaken out, we just didn't have the time or honestly the energy to go out and do that kind of stuff because we were kicking butt pretty much all day every day
Yeah.
in terms of going and seeing stuff and doing the touristy thing and just hanging out. So we didn't do any paranormal investigations. We did go to a few cemeteries, which was really, really good. And I I dropped the ball and did not really film any behind the scenes stuff like I normally would, because to be honest, I got in the mode of hanging out with my friends and I didn't feel like doing this every 5 seconds and kind of like interrupting the flow of our visit. So I didn't do it that much, but that's what this live stream is for, is to talk to you guys about what we did and all the things we went and did. But again, I did film at a bunch of cemeteries on the way up to Louisville, while we were in Louisville, and in our journeys. So as I start airing those episodes, you guys will get to see some of the sites we saw, and we can kind of do more live streams and kind of explain like, okay, so this cemetery, this is kind of something we were excited about, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Dan Tex is in the house, and the Frogzilla jumped in the chat, and Aaron is here.
Hey, Aaron.
And for those of you just joining us, we're just going to be talking about our trip to Louisville. So again, why did we go to Louisville again? Especially since we weren't doing paranormal investigations or anything like that. That's because Louisville is a really good kind of middle spot between where they live up in Canada and where I live down in Oklahoma. And it just was like, all right, why not? We were familiar with the area enough that we were like, okay, now we have an idea of what this place is like. This is kind of things we want to go check out. Let's do it. And we were in Louisville and Lexington, a couple other places in between there. And I think next time we hang out, next time we do something like this, we'll choose a different location.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we all felt that when we were there last year, we didn't really get to experience what the city has to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one of the reasons, besides it being just convenient for both of us to like meet in the middle, so that we had equal amounts of drive time, mostly,
Yeah.
so that we could have, all of the time, as much time as possible together in the trip as possible. That was kind of
Yeah.
so we each had to leave the day before we met
Mhm.
up, which I believe was a Saturday. We met up on Sunday.
Yeah.
I had to work in the morning. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, went to work, did my job, and then left here at about 1:30. And then I drove from here to a little bit past St. Louis, and then slept. And then you guys came down.
So we.
Whoa.
Oh no.
Yeah. Motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
So we stopped in Columbus initially, but then hotels were really expensive around there when we were stopped. So we're like, let's keep driving. So then we just kept driving. So we got to Mason, but it was funny because the last time we were in Louisville, like that trip, we stayed in Mason. So we kind of knew where to stop, which is about a 5-hour drive for us. So, but yeah, so no, it was, when we stopped at a cool brewery and restaurant in Columbus, Ohio.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of brewery was it? Like, you guys told me a little bit about the brewery, and you guys brought me some beer from the brewery, which was excellent. But what was the brewery like?
It was really nice. It was like I didn't realize there was 2 parts.
So they had a tap room, which was like in the back, which is more like a bar area. Mm-hmm. And then they had the restaurant in the front. So we didn't realize that, but we went to the restaurant, which was fine.
You guys needed to eat. So
it was like real bougie, like fancy. Like, I mean, they had the food that they made there. Like apparently he's like a top chef. Like everything is fresh. Like I had pork chop steak that was just like insanely, amazingly good.
Yeah, I had curry. Like I branched out, guys. I was very proud of myself. Hello, Jeff from Boo Protections. Because I'm very like burger, chicken.
She's very simple.
As like
we're going to be talking a lot about food tonight, guys.
Yeah.
We had some great food on our trip.
So much food.
So I had curry, but it was Japanese curry, so it was not like standard. It was really good. So
nice. I have a brewery that's kind of like that. There's 2 locations. Technically, they have 3, but I've only been to the 2. There's one that's like just a tap house. It's stuck on their warehouse where they're brewing the beers. It's just tap house. They do have a little food truck outside most of the time that serves like sausages and stuff. But they have another location that's like a restaurant style location in downtown Tulsa. And the menu is very bougie, where it's like, it has a hamburger, but it's not a hamburger. It's like a gourmet burger with it's a $20 kind of item per item kind of menu. It's a little bit much. Like when I go there, I just want some beer. Like, I don't want to spend that much money on food at a brewery. But I think I get the kind of vibe that you guys were dealing with. I stopped at a brewery as well in St. Louis, a brewery I wanted to revisit because I went to St. Louis, I want to say a little over a year ago, just as a trip for me. I took 2.5 days. I drove up to St. Louis, which is about 5-ish hours away, 6 hours away. I went and drove up there and stayed the night. I visited a couple breweries, but I had gone to this brewery 20 minutes, 30 minutes before they closed, which kind of sucked because I walk in, I was like, this is a nice vibe. It was, a lot of dark wood, very interesting beers, cool art. The people behind the counter were super nice, but it was it was 30 minutes to close, and they were like, "Hey, what would you like?" And just by the way, in about 10 minutes, we're doing last call. Oh, okay. I'll try this one beer, and I drank their beer, and it was really good. But they had a selection that I really wanted to try, and I wasn't able to. So I was like, whenever I come through here again, I'm stopping at this place. So that's what I did. I came up. I got some barbecue. I did stop at some barbecue. I'm going to look up the place I stopped at because it was okay. It was very average barbecue, but I stopped there because I was on the highway, and the big billboard, there was like 3 of them. Like, I want to say I was coming through Missouri, maybe. But it was like, state's best barbecue right here, next exit. Like, let's do this thing. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna start this trip off right. I'm gonna it's like 2 hours away. Like, I'll do that barbecue. And I went in there, and it was cool. It was kind of like in this tiny little pipsqueak of a town. It was on Route 66, which was cool. It was old. It had that old school barbecue feel kind of thing. Like, the place was very mom and pop, but like had been around a while. So it's grown in bits and pieces. It doesn't have a very big parking lot, which is interesting. But I stopped and I had it, and it was okay. I left there being like, this is the quote unquote best that you got to be throwing down billboards for. All right. I've had way better. But it was, where is it? Missouri Hick Barbecue. It was okay. So that's all I have to say about that barbecue. I had like a dog, bro.
She's something else right now.
She's like, I want to be a YouTuber too. We had a conversation about this dog on our trip too, guys, because they were like, the dog doesn't do this ever until we'll sit down to record, and then that dog is just like on Ron's lap. We have Zoom talks with all of our friends. We hang out for like hours. That dog doesn't hardly ever make an appearance.
Yeah.
You hit live on YouTube, start stream. That dog's like, it is time. I am here. So I had barbecue on the way up there. I stopped at the Four Hands Brewery in St. Louis. Excellent beer. I brought you guys some, and then I didn't want to pay for a hotel room, so I slept in my car at a rest stop, which is totally fine for me. So that's what I did. And then I woke up in the morning, hit some cemeteries on the way up to you guys. Took longer than I thought because of some of those cemeteries. But then I was like, okay, I gotta get. And I think we met up at probably a little afternoon, or was it like 3:00 in Louisville?
I think it was around 2.
It was around 2-ish or 1 or something.
But it was kind of okay because we ended up going to the Kentucky Derby, like the museum. The museum. So it was like we did something that was, I mean, I'm sure Jason would have had fun, but it was like we wanted to do that last year, but we didn't have time. Yeah. So this year we kind of made a point to do some touristy
stuff. Put it this way,
stuff.
guys. Being in Louisville and it being the Kentucky Derby and everything.
It was Derby time. We were 2 weeks before the Derby.
So it's like, even last year when we were on our trip, I was like, man, it'd be. I really wanted to go see Churchill Downs, but we didn't have time. So then I said to Cass, when we were there, like,
well, next time,
we're going. We got to check this place out. Like, it was
and
fun.
The museum is at Churchill Downs, right?
Yeah. It's right. Like the museum is right next door, and it has a marriage. Like they allow them to go and
they have
the grounds, and you can walk in and you don't get to see it all, but you get to actually walk in where the people watch the race, and you can look at it and be like, wow, here the Kentucky Derby, wow. So it's cool. It's neat. It's pretty cool. And it was the 150th anniversary this year, guys. So we get to say we were a part of history, that we were at Churchill Downs on the 150th anniversary.
2 weeks before.
2 weeks
tour.
before.
But we were there. They were
I have to mention
celebrating.
that part.
They were celebrating. That's all I gotta say. They're huge in Louisville, in Kentucky.
And then-
celebrating.
It's funny. The funniest part of that for me, because I didn't go because I took too long to get there. But I was like, don't wait for me, guys. Go do that thing. Like, that's fine. I'm on my way. I'm hurrying as fast as I can go. And by that I mean I was like taking less stops, because I think I hit about 3 cemeteries on the way up to you guys. But you guys had drinks while you were there.
Yeah.
And you got like a commemorative glass.
Yeah.
And when I met up with you guys and we finally made our way over to the hotel, like the first thing you guys noticed was the glass that Ron had gotten was smashed.
Well, okay, so what happened was it was in a paper bag. I was holding the paper bag by the handles. The glass was in that. The bag went bottomed out. It fell. Ron's glass broke. So that's what happened.
So
She picked it up and all of us heard cling, and he was like, "What is that? What was that?" And she's like, I think it's yep, it's your glass." He was bummed. He was bummed for a good 30 minutes. And we'll continue that story later in our recap. But it was like, oh man, that sucks. Because it could have been anything. We were hauling like a lot of beer up to the hotel.
Oh yeah.
And so I was just like waiting for it to start dripping or whatever. But no, it was his glass. It busted, smashed.
And Frogzilla, it was the mint julep cup that broke, actually.
Yeah.
I don't like mint
I love
drinks.
mint juleps, man.
A mint julep glass. So they have like mint julep specific cups for mint julep everywhere. But this was like a glass that he had his mint julep in. It wasn't like a silver cup that we saw multiple times on our trip.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not big on minty drinks. Like, I don't like mint tea. I like mint, like milkshake or like mint, but just like drinking mint. Like
I've never had a mint julep, and I probably should have had one while we were there.
Yes, you should have.
I don't know why I didn't, but I think I would enjoy them.
That's good. It is good.
So we met up, and I'm gonna have to refresh my memory because the whole trip started to blend together so much.
It is.
So we started in Louisville. We had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That we had 5 days to hang out. And then we all started our journey home on Friday. And I think it was one shot for both of us, right? We both got home kind of at the same time on Friday evening.
Yeah.
So we spent Sunday and Monday in Louisville. Mm-hmm. And Tuesday we drove down to
Wednesday. We were Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in Louisville.
Okay.
Oh
yeah. Sorry,
Bardstown on Tuesday.
Yes, that's right. Sorry.
I mean, we came back to Louisville.
Yes. Yeah.
But the first half of the day, and we'll get into it. We went to Bardstown on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday we were in Lexington.
Yeah.
So we met up. Where did we meet up?
We met up at that pizza place. We found a brewery.
Oh,
it was a brewery pizza place, which was confusing.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it was 2 separate companies, a pizza place and a brewery that are just like, you want to share locations kind of thing. But it was mostly the pizza place. Mm-hmm. So when I was going there, I was like, well, I see a pizza place, but where's the brewery? And both of us walked around the building looking for the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I got there first. I got there about 5 minutes before you. I just went in. I'm like, okay, this has to be it kind of thing. And it was. I'm like, I'm looking for the brewery. And she's like, oh, yeah, no, the brewery's here. And she just kind of did that.
It's over here.
And there's a wall on the far side where it's like the brewery. And then a counter. And then but it's all the pizza place. So it was really weird. So I was just like, okay, well, I got friends coming. And I sat down and I was waiting for you guys. And I saw you guys pull in. And you guys, I think we're here. We're here. Cool, you're here. And I was like, I'm just going to sit here and wait for him. And I saw you guys get out of your car, head towards the door that you come into, and then turn and walk around the building. I'm just watching you walk. And I'm like, they're doing the exact same thing I did. I'm not even going to correct them. I think I sent a message to Ron, or I sent a message to Cassie. I'm like, you guys, you just totally walked by me. And then you circled back around and came back in. But that was our first foods of the trip, guys. And as I said, we're going to be talking about food a lot on this trip. We had pizzas. We each got our own like personal sized pizza.
I didn't.
No, Cass didn't do pizza.
Yeah, me and Ron did.
You had a sub. Was it a sub or a sandwich?
Something delicious.
Yeah, it was a lot. She got a lot. And my pizza was great.
Mine
I want to
too.
say it was like a meat lovers type thing. It had all the meats. I'm pretty sure I took a picture of it. I took a picture of all my food. Cemetery. Yep. Looks like a meat pizza. Let's see if I can show you guys. It's got pepperoni, bacon, sausage, tons of cheese. Just like, look at that beautiful thing. I know it doesn't look like much on my phone, but it was a good sized and it filled me up perfectly. And the beer was pretty good. I remember having a flight. Me and Ron definitely did a bunch of flights on this trip.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty good.
Our first day together, we had several flights.
Okay, so I spoke very frankly to Cassie and Ron, especially Ron, and I said, I don't want to get schmammered on this trip. I don't want to spend the next day all hungover. Let's just have some flights and just be chill and the beer drinking. We didn't make it day one, guys.
No, we did not make it day one.
But we were good. I was always good.
Snookered.
I was fine, but the other days we were better. You guys were better.
Well, for our first night or our first day together, we got a little carried away because every we visited. What did we visit? 3? Yeah, we hit 3 breweries that day, right?
Well, see, here's the thing, guys. This is when it turned into a brew tour trip.
Yeah.
It started out as like, let's hang out, let's explore Louisville and all that kind of, and it quickly turned into a brew tour trip because I discovered there's something called the Louisville Ale Trail. And they give you a little passport booklet that looks like a passport. And you go to all these breweries and they will stamp them. There's like about 20 breweries in this thing. Yeah. And they say if you get up to 16 stamps, you then can log on, send in your passport, and you get like a gift. My guess would be like a t-shirt or something, whatever. Spoiler warning, we did not get all of our stamps, but we tried.
No, we tried.
Because here's the pissy part. In the booklet, it says get 12 stamps.
12. Yes.
And you're good to go. You've completed enough to get your little prize at the end. The website says 16. So we fell short. We did. Spoiler warning, we fell short, but we did our damnedest. So we did. I know what you're saying. You're being like, oh, you only visited 12 breweries? Oh, no, we visited more than that. It's just a lot of them that we visited were not on the ale trail. Mm-hmm. So this was the first one. I'm going to look and see which one it was. It was not showing up. This
I think in your room. Our room. Your room.
Yeah, I don't know where my passport is right now.
I'm gonna. Is it in the?
It's probably on your dresser.
Custard member for 26 months. Thank you for being a member of the channel. Listen, a lot of this trip came from the memberships that you guys do for this channel because. It's hard for me to get out and film content in cemeteries, guys. And this trip was about content a lot for my channel, unfortunately, for Cassie and Ron.
That's okay. It was
they're getting a bunch of live streams out of it. But like the reason was I wanted to go visit more cemeteries. I wanted to branch out and get some more cemeteries. And I got a few really good ones. We did revisit Cave Hill. We'll talk about that in a bit, but I didn't film a whole lot at Cave Hill except for the 1 year later video of Lily Gilbert's grave, where you see how it looks now after the cleaning we did last year, which if you haven't watched that, good Lord, when I say the D2 keeps working after you clean those stones, it keeps working. That stone is glowing.
Yeah.
Mike O, thank you for being a member for 26 months. You're awesome. All the members, you're awesome. Everybody who's hanging out in the chat, you guys are great. Thanks for tuning in. I am dying. My office is so hot. I'm gonna crack a window. Hold on. Yeah, that's the Ale Trail.
There it is. The Ale Trail Passport.
Oh, there we go. So we decided to do that. We bought our passports at this first brewery. They were $10. Sounded good to us. We had some food. We had our flights. The beer was good, average, I would say.
It was good. Yeah.
There wasn't anything standout. Like we didn't want to buy more of it. We had our beers. We hung out, had some good food, and we boogied out. 1 second. Antoine is asking, you ever been to Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Illinois? I have not. I have heard of it. I've read stories about it and do want to go. And then where did we go from there?
We went to another brewery.
Uh-huh.
Seriously?
We went to another brewery.
Like what?
Hang on. I can figure it out in my pictures.
Yeah.
Are
so
you sure? Or did we go to a cemetery?
Monarch. We went to Monarch.
I think we went to a cemetery after that because I got pizza place photos and then cemetery photos.
Wait, hang on.
Probably.
I got pizza place.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't have cemetery pictures yet. So
maybe pictures in cemetery.
Maybe not. I thought I did, but because I took a picture. Oh, that doesn't.
So at 3:55 p.m. on Sunday, we were at a cemetery, and then Monarch was 4:16 p.m.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So we went to a cemetery after. Oh, it was a cemetery because you guys came in and you guys were like, did you see the cemetery up the road? It was the Jewish cemetery up the road.
Yes, that's right.
And we weren't there for very long. We were hanging out there for maybe 20 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
And then we went to Monarch and had some more beer. Monarch was pretty cool. It was a small, intimate, bougie restaurant brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like or almost kind of hipster kind of vibe. I felt
very hipster. It's like the brewery equivalent of a hipster coffee shop kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. Uh-oh.
He's gonna sneeze.
Sneeze attack.
Yeah, that place was. They had roasted. Because we just had lunch.
Yeah, we just had lunch.
But they had the roasted Brussels sprouts that I really wanted to try, but it didn't make sense.
Great in there.
Yeah.
It was a pretty fun place. We stopped there, had another flight. Really good beer. Again, nothing that stood out that we were like, let's buy something, let's take something home.
Yeah.
But it was pretty dang good.
Yeah.
And then from there,
we stopped. We went to the hotel. Booked in at the hotel.
Yep, right? We did go to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then
I think we hung out. We dumped our stuff. We freshened up a little bit. Yeah. And then we went to another brewery. Went to Third Turn.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the Third Turn. Yeah.
We returned to Third Turn Brewery, which we went last year. It's the brewery that's in an old church. And we went there because we were really excited to get a beer that they had last time called Coffee Break. It's a coffee stout, really, really good. We were excited to try that one again. We get there and they don't have it. It's not available at the moment. Because if you don't go to breweries a lot, breweries don't have generally the same thing on tap all the time. They may have 2 or 3 that are always there. They're standards.
Yeah.
But then they rotate through seasoners, and stouts generally are cold weather beers. So it's not surprising to me, but it was like, oh man, no coffee break. All right, fine.
Yeah.
So we hung out there. We had a flight, tried some new beers from them, and then we bought more. We each bought a couple crowlers from there.
Yes. Yeah, that one was good. That was the one that was I think it was chocolate, coffee, and
orange.
No, it was not. No? Oh, there was orange in it, but they didn't taste like orange. Yeah. We looked up I went on the website, and actually there was hint of orange or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't taste orange.
So it was pretty fun to revisit that location. I enjoyed it. It was on the Ale Trail, so we were able to get a stamp. And then from there we went to the Rec Bar.
Yes.
The rec bar.
And the night got fuzzy after that. We closed out our night at the rec bar playing pinball and video games for I don't even know how long we were there.
I'd say couple hours.
Something like that, yeah.
We didn't close it down like we did the last time.
No.
We ended our night there and then made our way back to the hotel, which we were kind of staying at a hotel nearish to there.
Yeah.
So I think we probably got back to the hotel and went to bed around midnight.
Probably. It wasn't
probably something around there, midnight or
11 or
we
midnight.
never had super late nights either, so that was kind of good. Like really late nights, but like late, but not like horribly late.
Yeah. So we got home. We went to bed. Again, a little schnookered, a little sloppy, and the morning time came. We didn't get up like super early, but we were also probably up by like 7ish. And then we went and had breakfast at the hotel. Try and save some money, some time. We had breakfast there, which was fine.
Yeah.
Your basic hotel breakfast energized us for the day. And I think we went to Cave Hill immediately after, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Pretty much hit Cave Hill right away, yeah.
Which, again, I didn't film in Cave Hill, really, except for Lily Gilbert's grave, because it's so large. It's so large. We just kind of looked around a bit. It took us a little bit to find her grave. We knew the general area of where it was, but it took a hot minute to find it. We were probably there for about half an hour. And then let's see. We went to the cemetery next door to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, oddly enough, we had seen it last year. We were like, "Oh, there's another cemetery," and we went in there, but I didn't film there because I think mostly it was because they had a grounds crew or they had people there cleaning up, and so there was like 4 or 5 people there. They were running lawnmowers and stuff, and it just wouldn't be feasible to film around them because they were kind of spread out all over the place. So we just didn't really stay long there at all. And so we were like, well, let's go over to this cemetery. We'll film there. And then we went across the street to another brewery.
Yeah.
Literally across the street from the cemetery. And so we go to the cemetery. The stark contrast of this cemetery is huge because Cave Hill is so massive and beautifully kept and amazing. And it literally is separated by a brick wall, this eastern cemetery that is unkempt, small, falling apart, and just kind of dilapidated. And we made note of that last year. We made note of it this year when we went in there. And it was hilarious, darkly, because we saw a sign out front that's like, hey, historical marker. You know, this cemetery was closed down X amount of years ago. It was in operation from this time to this time. It was overburied and shut down, kind of thing. And I was like, that's weird, because I watched a documentary about a cemetery that was pronounced the most overburied cemetery in America, which means the people who were running it were burying people on top of people on top of people and I remember this from the documentary very well, to that, like, when people would wander around the cemetery, it was not unusual for bones to be found laying on the ground because they came up. It rained really hard, and the place was terrible, and it got shut down to the point, I can't remember how many actual plots it has, but upwards to 30,000 people are believed to have been buried there. And it cannot hold that many people at all. So it was a big, big problem thing, scandal type thing. And I told you guys about that. I was like, I saw this documentary. That's weird. It's kind of like the same thing. And it was itching the back of my head. So while we were at the brewery and drinking a couple more beers, I looked it up. And that's the exact cemetery that documentary was filmed at, the Eastern Cemetery in Louisville. If you want to find the documentary, it's on YouTube. It's very informational. It's called Facing East. And it's a documentary about the over burial of that cemetery and how it got shut down, how it was discovered, all that kind of stuff. It's ridiculous, guys.
Yeah,
it is crazy.
Ridiculous. I've watched it a couple times. It's free to watch on YouTube. Go check it out. Quality is minimal, but its information is solid gold.
This is crazy.
But I have an episode that will be coming out on that cemetery because we wandered around there for about an hour and shot a bunch of footage. I didn't discover that this was the same place till after we were done filming, so I'll probably film like a little intro outro for the episode because all my stuff while I was in there was just like commenting on how dilapidated it is. So that was really cool to discover and really cool to experience with you guys. And then we went over to the brewery next door and had a couple beers. And it was cool because that area, not only do you have Cave Hill and Eastern and the brewery, but there was a couple record stores along there as well. And we visited one of those at one point, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I think at that point,
we
were a little hungry.
Yeah.
We were a little hungry and we went to a place that had hot chicken sandwiches. Because I was like, I want to have a hot chicken sandwich because I've been wanting a hot chicken sandwich. I like spicy chicken sandwiches. I want a hot chicken sandwich. Found a place that had them. And we went to this little kind of super tiny little barbecue-ish type place. And I got a hot chicken sandwich and corn and beans. Cassie, you got chicken strips.
Yes, but like buffalo chicken strips.
Mm-hmm. And Ron got you got a sandwich. Was it brisket?
I think it was pulled pork. Yeah.
It was
no chicken. It was chicken. Pulled chicken. It was pulled chicken.
It was pulled chicken. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because you complained that you had to build your sandwich.
Yeah.
Because you got your thing and it was just like the bun, the chicken, like coleslaw. It was just all apart. But my sandwich was fantastic. Look at that beauty of a sandwich. It was one of the best sandwiches I've ever had, to be honest. Like, I think about that sandwich.
My buffalo chicken fingers were the best buffalo chicken fingers I've ever had in my life. So, like, I can't even describe it. It's so good, or was so good.
That was one of the best meals we had on the entire trip.
Yeah.
Maybe for you guys.
Yeah, not for you.
Not for me.
You were less than enthusiastic about yours, which I understand. I get it. And then from there, what did we do? We went to a few more cemeteries. We tracked down a couple more cemeteries.
Yeah.
And then
Jesus.
I think Jesus. That's an inside joke. We may have to try and explain that.
Yeah.
So we were in a cemetery. I don't even remember which one. I don't even remember.
It was a Catholic cemetery.
Yeah, it was one of the Catholic cemeteries. Yeah. And just I'm sitting there filming something. And in the corner of my ear shot, I just hear Cassie go, Jesus. And then immediately after, she's like, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said it like that. Because what she was doing was pointing at this statue of Jesus in the cemetery. There's nothing crazy about the statue. It was just a statue of Jesus.
No, it was huge, though. I was like, Jesus.
Jesus. She was like, it was just a statue of Jesus. And instead of being like, oh, it's Jesus, she was like, Jesus.
I'm almost positive when you go through your films, you're going to catch that. You're going to hear Cassie in the background.
Probably going to do that. And then it's the immediate afterwards of like, I am so sorry. I don't know why I said it like that. And it killed us so much that for the rest of the trip, that was the inside joke for the entire trip, is every time we spotted Jesus, which was a lot, we would just randomly shout, Jesus.
And then on the way home, there was this huge Jesus statue off in the distance. I took a picture and I sent it to Jason, and I'm like, Jesus.
It was killing us. I don't even know why. I think we all have experienced those things on trips or when you're hanging out with friends where something is so funny at that moment, and it will forever be funny to you, but you could never really explain it to anybody else because it was you had to be there kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Jesus, I am sorry. I do not know why I said it like that. Oh, hilarious. And then I don't really know what we did the rest of the day besides some cemeteries. I'm looking through my photos. But that night we went to a trivia night. That was trivia night.
Yeah.
We went to, I can't remember the name of the place we went. Its theme was like retro sound equipment.
Yeah.
Like the behind the bar, it literally had Gravely. We went to Gravely.
Gravely.
Literally had like
Gravely.
Old stereos and record players and stuff all set up. It was pretty awesome.
They had like
the drum set,
the drum kind of set thing there. It was cool.
Yep, we went up trivia, Mike. We went there because you guys had never done trivia night, and I've done it a few times. I'm like, yeah, let's go do a trivia night. That's going to be fun. We'll get some beers and stuff, and we'll have some food here because Gravely did serve food. And so we went there, and trivia was ridiculously difficult. Like we got there we got there 2 questions late because unfortunately for them, I didn't remember which brewery was doing trivia, and I thought it was a place called Apocalypse Brewing.
Oh,
so we went there, and you guys were like, "Are you sure they're doing trivia? It doesn't look like anybody's here for trivia." And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure." So we ordered beers and we sat down, and I'm like, let me just check on my phone. And I checked, and I'm like, no, we're supposed to be at a different brewery. So we drank our beers and jetted over there. It was just right down the street. It's like 5 minutes. But we got there after 2 questions had already been asked. So we just jumped right into it. And every question, these 2 were just looking at me like, do you know that? And I was like, I don't even know what language they're speaking. I was so lost in this trivia game, and we were in last place the entire time until the very, very end. We managed to pull ahead by a point or 2 so that we were second to last.
Yeah.
But we were getting our butts killed by like some 70-something olds people that were there. Remember, Jason?
Yeah.
The couple, the 4 people over off to the side of us, they're like in their 70s.
Yeah, we would just look over and be like, that's going to be us in like 30 years.
Yeah, it wasn't standard trivia though.
No,
it was freaking hard.
It was so difficult. I've never been in a trivia competition that was that difficult. I wish I could remember the questions and stuff, but they were just like, they were all over the place.
They were stupid, ridiculous. Like,
and we had to
periodic table.
Yeah, they had one with the periodic
I'm like,
table.
I don't know the periodic table. Come on.
Yeah.
Where's the pop culture questions? At least make me feel good about that. And their pop culture questions were like, name the blonde guy who stood in the background of this film you've never heard of. And I'm just like,
oh yeah.
We're all looking at Jason like, Jason? He's like,
this was a movie, and I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. And even when the answer came out, I wasn't like, oh yeah, that movie. They would name it, and I'd be like, I've never heard of that. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But that was fine. We had fun making fun of ourselves, at least. And the beer was fine, and it was a kind of annoying because I was still interested in like spicy chicken, so I'm like, I'm gonna get some buffalo wings. And so I ordered the buffalo wings, and they didn't have the buffalo wings. And so I got a sandwich, which was fine. It was a fine sandwich, nothing to write home about. But then Ron,
oh my gosh,
Ron ordered a chili dog, and what he got was like a chili dog, kind of. It was like a picture of a hot dog that's been slit in half, and then the chili's been like dumped in the middle of the hot dog. Weird way to serve it, but okay. Another problem was Ron's expectation of what chili should be was not what was served, because he didn't understand that there's like 2 kinds of chili. There's chili with beans, there's chili without beans. This was without beans, and it blew his mind. But also, it was extremely spicy.
It was spicy.
So he gets it, and he's like, all right, okay. Nope. And then he eventually swallows it, and he's like, "This, I don't think I can eat this."
Yeah.
He's like, "This is too hot," and I was like, come on.
Come on.
And
he takes a little piece
Here
of
you
the
go.
meat. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it had that 2 seconds of like, this is nothing. This is nothing. This is fine. This is okay. It's heating up. It's really heating. Like,
oh yeah.
God, holy Jesus. Like it got hot, and I like spicy food, but it just was like super spicy, and not even like in a flavorful way. It was just hot.
No.
Just a hot spicy. And so, like, he didn't even finish his food. Like, he was just like, I can't eat this.
I was very
He tried.
disappointed.
He gave it like another good bite, and then he was just like, nope, nope. Because then you're just layering the heat on top of the heat, and he's nope, I'm dead. So that was, I think, the only time we were like really not down with the food we had. Every other place,
everywhere else we went was good.
Yeah, I had tater tots, but it was like nacho tater tots with beer cheese. Mine was actually okay.
Yeah, and my sandwich was fine. Like, there was nothing wrong with my sandwich, but I was just like, every time I took a bite, I'm like, I wish it was buffalo wings.
Yeah,
anyway.
right?
Yeah.
And then from there, I discovered while we were there, I think, a place called Planet of the Tapes.
Oh, my goodness.
Which was a bar next to another brewery. So we did go to that brewery. I can't remember what that brewery was called.
That brewery was called... Hang on. I think I took
it was right next to the grain silos.
Maybe I did take a picture. I thought I did, but
I can't remember. I would have to look up. Anyway, Planet of the Tapes is a bar made out of a couple cargo containers, and it's the look and theme of it is old VHSs and retro toys, and they've got a couple video games and stuff. It was really cool to go check that place out. We just went in there for about 30 minutes and had a beer. But it was really interesting. And I think we had that conversation of like, if I lived here, I would be a regular at this place all the time, because they had film previews. They did comedy nights. They had bands that would play, like Mystery Science Theater 3000 type events. Like it is pretty stinking cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Playing the tapes.
Yep. And then
I
think we went home after that. We went back to the hotel after that. And the next day we went to Bardstown.
Yes.
You guys start talking about Bardstown. I feel like I've been talking way too much.
Oh, okay. So Bardstown was pretty cool because it's the home of home of bourbon. So that was kind of neat. We we tried to eat and drink at Talbot's Tavern, but there was no one coming to serve us. That was weird.
That was so we did go in there and we did like look around, which was cool. Because it's like an inn. It's like a inn you can stay in, and they've got a few rooms, and it's got a restaurant and a bar and all that. So we did get to look around a little bit, which was cool. Yeah. But when we were like, well, originally we were going to go to a brewery that like the one brewery in Bardstown, but it was closed until
like
4 in the afternoon. And we were like, there's not enough in Bardstown to keep our attention. We're going to go back to Louisville. And so we're like, well, let's just have a beer and maybe a sandwich or something. We'll have lunch. And we stood around like waiting for someone to be like, hey, would you like a seat? Do you need help? Would you like a drink? And nobody was around. We were just standing there in emptiness. And finally, I'm just like, let's go. I'm done. I don't want to wait anymore. And as we're walking out the door, finally employees just start poking their heads out of random doors in the back. And Cassie was like, do you want to stay? There's an employee there. And I'm like, nope, they've lost their chance. Goodbye.
Yeah. Oh, we also went to a cemetery in Bardstown too. A very, very old one that like...
Yeah, it was like a pioneer type cemetery. I want to say it was the Pioneer Cemetery in Bardstown, which was one of the very first cemeteries in that area. Which was really cool, and I did film there. And then we also went to, it may have been the Bardstown Cemetery. It's a larger, more modern burial ground, a little bit right outside the town, or at least as you're going out of town. We did wander around there for a while. So we got a couple cemeteries there. We did check out the tavern. We wandered its little main street, which was really nice and pretty.
Yeah.
So we did a little bit there. We spent the morning there. It just wasn't, a lot of things were closed. It's more of like a weekend afternoon type place. And so we decided like, hey, we saw some cool stuff. This was neat. But let's head back to Louisville and we'll start checking out more breweries and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's the same day that we went to go to that bridge, but we didn't. It was gonna be like an urban legend location. But
it's the
wasn't really
Hoplick Bridge. It was one of our options of like, well, maybe we can come back and do like a nighttime investigation, like casual nighttime investigation. But honestly, the location is difficult in terms of like it's on kind of a main road. There when we went there was a lot of construction. I did get some aerial footage of the Poplick Bridge, which was pretty cool. As the legend goes, that if you cross the bridge at night or wander around that area at night, you can summon or encounter the Poplick monster. It's very much the exact same legend of the Goatman's Bridge type thing, which is common in a lot of these stories, these urban legends that you'll hear around various locations of like a haunted bridge, moaning ladies or white lady or crybaby bridge type thing, where you hear this exact same story over and over and over again in different places. It's just an urban legend style that I'm a sneeze. Hold on.
Bless you.
You guys start talking so I can sneeze, but then you guys just sit there.
Sorry. So, but that also though there was a kind of a recent death-ish there too, so it kind of felt in bad taste to even investigate there. So to me,
and a death that was in conjunction with people not doing what they were supposed to do and dying because of this.
Joe's comment. I was like, looked over and I'm like,
oh my. I'm trying to keep this PG. I'm not gonna flag his comment. Y'all can read it. It's never happened to you, Joe. Don't worry about it. But we were gonna go there. It was cool to go check out and stuff, but it just wasn't enough of a draw for us to go back and actually mark time out of our schedule to go back at night and have to deal with whatever we were going to deal with, because again, it's next to a main road. There's no real place to hang out. Like literally we would just sit under the bridge at like on a bike path. Like that's all you could do, because there's everything else is woods and blocked off places by fences. So that's kind of where we said, okay, this is cool, interesting. We read up on the legend and stuff, and then we moved on.
We did, and then we did more breweries that night. I feel like we did more breweries that night.
We did. We went and got food. We went to a barbecue place. I want to say Mama's.
We did the
pickles and barbecue.
Oh, it was a speakeasy.
We did the speakeasy that night, I thought.
Yeah, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh,
we're on the barbecue that we had. We went to Mama's barbecue.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Mama's. Oh,
yeah,
man,
that
Mama's
was actually really good.
Pretty good. It was really good. My sausage sandwich that I got was good, but Ron got the burnt ends, which were amazing. Like they were so good. That was definitely one of those times where you're like, man, I wish I would have ordered that. Like, because they were. He gave me one. It was super, super good.
It was.
I had fried bologna sandwich, which was like, I know, I had to do it. We were in like
It's like fried bologna sandwich, guys.
I actually like fried bologna. Like I'll fry it in a frying pan, but thin. But this bologna was like super thick, which I mean, it was maybe a little bit too thick for my liking. I like more like crispy fried bologna. Like I'll put it on a bagel with barbecue sauce. So I mean, it was good. It wasn't bad. I know I'm weird. I dip my grilled cheese in barbecue sauce, so
I would do that.
Oh, okay.
From there, we decided to revisit the Gallant Fox, which is a
Yes.
brewery we visited the year before.
Yeah.
Had a couple beers there and hung out. And then we went to 1020 Brewery, had a couple beers there, which was pretty nice. And then we went to a speakeasy. This was one of two speakeasies we visited. It was kind of like, hey guys, I've found a place we should go check out. I'm not really going to tell you about what it is until we go. But this place is in downtown Louisville. The speakeasy, you don't really understand what it looks. It's very nondescript, very plain Jane. But when you go in, it's like all wood and bookshelves and dim lighting. It's got a bar area, and then it's got like a balcony area. And we got sat in the balcony area. It's a speakeasy. And then we go into the balcony area, and then literally there's like a wardrobe in a corner, and they open up the wardrobe, and it goes into a hidden room, and that's where we got to hang out. And then they had like our own personal server that would come up and get us our drinks.
And ring the bell.
So we had we had a couple cocktails there. I had like I want to say it was like their version of an old fashioned, which was really tasty. And we hung out there for. Yeah. Not terribly long,
very long,
45 minutes, because we knew we wanted to go to a distillery during this trip, and we found one. We literally like saw one as we were driving earlier that day that piqued our interest, and we were like, well, maybe we'll go do that one. And they had a tour, but their last tour of that night was an hour after our reservation for the speakeasy. And so we were like, well, it's like 10 minutes away from the speakeasy, if that. We can go to the speakeasy. We're only having like a drink. So like it's not going to take too long. So as long as we're only there for about 40 minutes and then we jump in the car and we head over to the distillery, we should be fine. And I know Cassie was a little, I don't know if we're going to make it. Like, but
I have a problem with time.
Fine.
So
we did just fine.
Yeah, I'm like, it should be fine. But it was also a little rough because, like, I think the speakeasy, we had reservations for like 7, and then like the tour was like at 8. So it was the last tour of the night, and it's a late tour. I'm like, I'm sure they're not going to like wait around for late people, so we'll see. So we hung out at the speakeasy for a hot minute. It was really cool. I liked it, and then we took off, jumped in the car, zipped over to the distillery, and we were late by like almost 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Probably 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 10 to 15 minutes. We were kind of late, and we show up, and we're like, whoo, 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 and we pull on the door, kunk, locked.
It's locked.
Yeah,
and like I'm like, oh no, it's locked up. And then the door opened, and as the guy was like, "You here for a tour?" Yeah, and they're like, "All right, come on in."
Yeah,
because they were making us drinks.
Yeah,
the people who were in the tour, there's probably like
there were 4 other
7
guys.
or 8 of us.
There was 4 other guys, wasn't it?
3
other guys.
3 other guys, and like maybe like another couple or something.
No, there was just 3 guys.
Was just 3
just
other
the
guys.
5 of us.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, it was a small group.
I
6.
thought it was more.
No.
Yeah, 6. We're 3. I count you guys as 1. So yeah, we got there and they made us drinks, and they were kind of like
really good ones,
low key about it, and they were super cool. But then we did the tour, and the tour was like an hour, and it was really cool and informative. It was interesting because they don't technically make whiskey or anything anymore. They're blenders. They get whiskey from other places, and then they blend it with something while aging in various wood barrels of their choosing. And so then that's what their product becomes, a blended thing that they've redone. And it was really cool to hang out. Our tour guide was pretty awesome. He was cool. The guys we were doing the tour with were chill. Especially since me and Ron got chatty and started asking a bunch of questions. And we ended up in the tasting portion of the tour, which was really cool, to the point where we bought a bunch of bourbon and whiskey. I don't even like bourbon and whiskey. And I paid over $100 for a bottle that's now sitting in my room. And I've already sampled it. It's pretty good. But the reason I bought it was because it was pretty good. I can't remember. I'd have to go get the bottle and like read what exactly it was aged in and stuff. But I tasted it at the tasting and I was like, I think me and Cassie were like, it's got a taste we can't identify, like an aftertaste that's just, it's right there, but I can't identify what it is. And the dude was like, well, some people say like a root beer. And I was like, that's it. It tastes like those hard root beer barrel candies that you could get at like drugstores and stuff. It has that kind of aftertaste. So I thought to myself, like, what I need to do is buy this bourbon and buy some of those whiskey or some of those root beer barrel candies and then have one in my mouth while I'm sipping on my whiskey, or I just throw it in the glass. Who cares? Like, whatever. So I paid a bunch of money for that bottle, and then like literally a couple nights after I came home, cracked it open, did that exact same thing, and it's pretty dang good.
Yeah, no, it was like we bought 2 bottles of almost $200 US.
Gave one to your parents,
but we did give a gift. It was a gift for only one of us, a gift, and then we kept the one that tastes like root beer. So, but it was a really cool experience. It was
fun.
Yeah, the guy was super nice.
It was like what?
Also, right before the touring was started, the bartender said something about creepy and ghosts, and we're like, "Well, we're investigators," so that also was kind of cool.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that I think extended our trip by like 15 minutes as we talked about ghosts and the building because the building it's old, it's super old, it's been various things over the course of its time, and so we had a good conversation with them about paranormal activity inside of buildings and kind of the stone tape theory and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty cool, and they were totally open for it. And both of them were like, "No, we've had experiences here. Like we can feel the energy in this place."
Yeah, the guy that was doing the tour, wasn't he the manager
general
manager? He he gave us cards. He's like, here's my card. Like, you know.
Yeah, and I give him my business card, so that was good. That was kind of cool.
You never know. You never know. We might be back.
Yeah,
you never know. Pass through there. And that was That was Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wednesday and Thursday, we journeyed over to Lexington, Kentucky, which is about 45-ish minutes to an hour, depending on traffic, away from Louisville. And we were going there because last time we were there, we went through there and there was this shopping center type thing. There was this area that had like a bar, restaurant, and a coffee shop, and just like a straight up bar and a brewery and a distillery and like an ice cream shop, and it was just all self-contained in this little place. And we just found it cozy as hell, and we loved the brewery. We did stop at the brewery that on our last trip. Didn't really get to check out the rest of the place. We were like, we want to go back there. We want to like really check that place out. So that was one of the reasons why we really wanted to go back to Lexington. And then like, let's check out Lexington itself and kind of what Lexington has to offer. And Lexington is the place we decided we were going to get our tattoos. Yes. So all 3 of us got matching tattoos to a degree. We all were talking one night. We were like, we should get tattoos. We've been talking about getting tattoos together for a couple of years now.
Pretty much.
And so we were like, this is what we need to do. And I said, Cassie, you got tattoos. So does Ron. But like Cassie, like, I think this was before even Ron got his like gigantic back tattoo. I can't remember. Probably. Or he was in the process of it. But I was like, Cassie, your job, if you choose to accept it, your mission, if you will. You need to find us a tattoo artist in Lexington to get tattoos. And so you did your homework a little bit. You found a super nice chick who was in Lexington. And so our first thing pretty much we did was wake up in the morning, have some breakfast, drive to Lexington, went to a coffee shop for a hot minute, and then went out and got our tattoos. Yep. And so me and Ron have the exact same tattoo. In the exact same place. It's on my butt. No, it's not. And then Cassie has a variation of the same tattoo in a slightly different place.
No, other side of my ankle.
Yeah, so ours is on the inside of our left leg on the ankle, and then Cassie's is on the right or on the left on the outside.
No, on the right, yeah, on the right side outside, yeah.
So I have the photo. I would do that, but no. We got sheet ghosts holding a beer. This is a photo directly after we got them. So there's a tiny bit of blood. Just warning you. Can't really see it in the photo, but there is, because we got a little bit of white in our tattoo and it just kind of pops. But that's our sheet ghost tattoo.
Yeah.
It's a sheet ghost holding a mug of beer.
Yeah.
And then Cassie's has a cup of coffee.
Yes, a blue cup of coffee.
Yep, a blue cup of coffee. But that's the tattoo that we all share now. It's our friend tattoos.
Yeah.
And it was like the least painful, quickest tattoo I've ever gotten in my life.
Same.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how quick it was. Like, what? It's over? Wow.
Yeah, and not only that, like I'm like, I forgot I had it because it was not.
No, we all did. Not only
did
we forget we had it because it wasn't painful, we forgot we even got them. Like the next day, we were like, "Oh yeah, we went and got tattoos yesterday."
And we weren't drunk or anything. It was just literally, it was just like a blip, and it was just so
it's just
fast.
Because
and, like,
we were we were doing so much on this trip, and that stop just took an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Like it was super, super fast.
Yeah,
and
maybe an hour,
a little over an hour, I think.
Yeah, because it clean up time.
But it was so quick with just 3 of us getting tattoos. I think it took like maybe 10-15 minutes per tattoo.
Yeah.
If that.
If anyone's in Lexington, just say Black Swan.
Yeah.
Look her up on Instagram. Black Swan. Yeah.
She was great.
She was really good.
It's super friendly, super nice.
Yeah.
Cozy little tattoo shop. Didn't get her haircut. She did shave our legs, Ron, but not our heads. So we did that, and then from there in Lexington, let me refer to the photos.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think.
We went to the cemetery, right?
Cemeteries?
No, we went and got some barbecue, sir, at the Blue Door Smokehouse.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh, that's right.
Which was really good. It was a really good barbecue place.
Yes.
I can look at my photo. It didn't seem like a lot of food. I don't know. Whenever I eat, I feel like when I get my plate, I'm like, that's not a lot. But I was full. I was full after this, guys. As you can see from the photographic evidence, I had hot link sausage, pulled pork, beans, some pickles. That is potato salad up here. Excellent barbecue. Really, really enjoyed it. It's probably the best, not probably, it was the best barbecue I had on this trip.
I think so.
Bar none. And it just so happened to be like Blue Door Smokehouse, and then across a parking lot and a vacant lot, another brewery. So we went and had a really good lunch, and then we were able to pop over to a brewery right by and have a good few drinks there. And then from there, the cemetery wasn't until the next day, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, we checked into our hotel, right?
We went and checked into the hotel. The thing was, the hotel was like on the complete other side of the city. And this is when I think I was able to get a nap in, despite the objections of Ron. Because over the course of these days, I'm on vacation, right, guys? I'm on vacation. There are some times we had some downtime between where we needed to be and where we were. And I'd be like, well, we could go back to the hotel, take a little, like, an hour-long nap or something like that. And Ron would be like, no, we're not. No. I'm like, what do you got against naps? He's like, I'm on vacation. We're doing stuff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No one shall sleep. And I was just like, I was dragging. There were times I was just like, I can barely keep my eyes open. Like, I am not used to this schedule. For one, I'm used to I'm in a different time zone by an hour, but I'm also used to waking up at 3:00 in the morning and going to bed by 9. And this dude, and I get a nap in there at some point, guys. So like, that's my schedule. And my body's just like, yo, bro, it's nap time. What are you doing? It's nap time. 3:00 nap time. And Ron's just like, let's go. So I think on this day, I think we just managed to be like, we went to the hotel and checked in, and I just laid down. I'm like, nope, I'm taking a nap.
I think I fell asleep too, though.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And then after we were done sleeping for like an hour, I think you asked Ron, like, did you sleep at all? And he's like, no. I just sat here staring at the wall, wanting to go do stuff. I didn't feel bad at all. I needed to take a nap. So anyway, I'm not sure what we did that night, honestly.
Oh, we
went to the next speakeasy.
But we hit a couple record stores.
Oh yeah, we went down towards the college area,
university area. Oh my gosh!
And the traffic was stupid, and we hated it. But the record shops were really cool. It was old school, like literally one was in a basement. Record shops. That was really cool to see. And then did we go to like dinner that night? I don't have a photo. Like my next photos are the next day.
No,
we went to a speakeasy called Constitution.
We had that barbecue, which was like extremely filling. Right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Did we do something for dinner?
I don't know. I'm going to look at my photos because I
can't remember.
I don't remember because I have barbecue and then the brewery after the barbecue and then the speakeasy.
Yeah.
Which I had a very excellent drink that was like their take on a margarita-ish type drink, and it was really good.
Yeah,
And this speakeasy was called Constitution, and it was done up like a rare book store, rare books and antiquities, and then you go in and you push a button, and they will open up a bookshelf door, and you go in, and it was pretty sick. It was pretty awesome.
Neat.
Yeah,
but I don't have any pictures that signify us going out and eating.
No, me neither. Because I literally have barbecue, brewery, speakeasy.
So we must have just not been hungry.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I feel like we did have. Oh no, we totally ate food. We totally did. I can't remember if it was. I think it was after the speakeasy. We went to that pub place.
Oh,
that like Irish pub place,
Scottish
near
pub.
the university. Yeah, and me and you had the excellent burgers.
Right.
You were just like, this is the best burger I've ever had.
Yeah.
It ties with the best burger I've ever had that's in Niagara on the Lake. Like those are like two top, like next level, like burger. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. We went there. Yeah. We went there because you were just like, I want some beer cheese. Like I want pub food. Like let's get us some pub food. So I looked it up, and unfortunately, like it was getting kind of late. So a lot of places were closed. I couldn't find something that was like really satisfying the thing this itch we were trying to scratch. Except for this one place. It was back over by the university, a little off the university. And it was like a sports bar / Irish pub type thing. And we go there and we got scared because when we got there, it was dead. There was like 2 people at the bar and all empty chairs, and it looked like it had kind of already been cleaned up for the night. And I was like, oh no, I don't even know if they're serving food right now. Like, I think we might have missed it. They might have closed the kitchen, so we were a little scared. But when we sat down there, she handed us the menus. She's like, oh yeah, just order up. And it was weird because it was cool because after we ordered, she was just like, do you guys need anything else? Because we're closing the kitchen. So we got in there just in time. But it was weird because when we got our food, like 4 tables filled up at that moment, like big groups of so like this must have been like a place you go during this late night hour.
Yeah.
But we both had excellent burgers, and you were just over the moon for yours. I can't remember what Ron had. Maybe he had a burger as well.
Wings?
Maybe he had the wings. But yeah, it was so good. The food was so good. It was too good for that place, I feel like. I feel like if you looked around and you got the vibe of the place, you're like, this is going to be average to probably kind of food.
Yeah.
The food was amazing. It was so stinking good.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, no, we definitely ate, because I feel like it was a highlight. Because my hot chicken sandwich and that burger were highlights. And then at that point, we went back to the hotel and went to bed because we were schnookered. We were tired.
Yeah.
We weren't schnookered as in like we drank too much, because we didn't drink all that much that day. But we were exhausted because literally the last 4 days started catching up with us. Like we were like, I need some sleep.
Yeah.
And that's why in the very next morning we did eat our breakfast at the hotel, and then we went and found coffee. We're like, we need a coffee shop. So we found this cute little coffee shop and sat and had some coffee and just kind of chilled out for a little bit before kind of taking in the rest of the town, doing some sightseeing. We went to a big, giant thrift store, antique store place, 2 stories, 2 buildings. Like, it was pretty stinking awesome.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Lexington Cemetery for a good couple hours.
Yes.
Which that place kind of rivals Cave Hill in terms of the expanse and the neatness of it. Like, we were having a really good time wandering around that place.
Yeah.
The Lexington Cemetery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sick.
And then from there, we went to that little place that I told you guys about, the little like area that kind of had bars and pubs and the brewery and the distillery. We went there, and it was cool because we went there and we had some beer over at Ethereal Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Which is a cool vibe. It's got a cool vibe, and it also does just a weird amount of beers across the spectrum. So you can find something you like, and they do some experimental beers that are interesting. Like, we had a good time trying their stuff there. And then there's also a area, I'm not even sure if it was open when we were there last year, but a bar, music venue, arcade across the street.
Yeah.
The Burl,
that
which is weird and interesting.
Yeah.
So we went over there and played some video games for a little bit before wandering back over to have lunch or dinner at, I can't remember the name of the place, but it was a
firefighter theme.
Yeah.
Firefighter themed owned bar pub in this same area where Ethereal was. And I ate the hell out of some fries, loaded fries, which were fries, pulled pork.
Oh, right. Yes.
A little bit of onion, some sour cream, and some jalapenos and cheese and barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Look at those buttes. I ate that whole plate. I got it, and I was like, "This is too big." Like,
I was looking like, how is he going to eat all this?
Because it was technically an appetizer, so something you share amongst the table. I was like, I'm going to eat half of this, guys. I ate the whole thing. It was the second best bit of food I had on the entire trip. The pulled pork was amazing. Everything was great about it. I was in love. And if I'm ever in that area again, I'm going there to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did the pulled pork sandwich.
Oh, yeah, you really like that too.
That was, I mean, look at that.
Their
really
pork
good.
is on.
It was good.
And I had the buffalo chicken sandwich.
And you did the boot shot. Remember that?
I have a picture of that too.
Yeah.
Me and Ron went up to, I think, just order some beer or something.
Yeah.
I don't know why we went to the bar.
To order our food, I think,
but
and drinks.
Yeah, we had to order our food at the bar. They had a golden firefighter's boot that said $5 boot shot. What you pull is what you drink.
Yeah. Oh,
that's what it looks like. So inside the boot is just a bunch of little scraps of paper with names of any of the hard alcohol they have sitting up there. And so you pull whatever it is out of the boot and you get a shot of that and you have to drink it. And Ron was like, "Oh, you should do it." And I was like, "Challenge accepted." So I gave him $5 and I got some whiskey and which
was really good.
Downed it. Yeah. It was pretty. It was good enough to shoot. So that was fun. So I did that. Had a beer there, and then from there, I think we went back to Ethereal and had another couple beers. We actually had a couple beers. We're hanging out, and we're like, okay, I guess we're done. We can head out now. And as we're leaving, I walk outside. I'm like, it's so nice. And they have this nice little deck patio area.
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of just don't want this to end. I just kind of want to get another beer and sit on the deck in this nice weather and have another beer. And so you guys didn't object. So we went and had another beer.
Yeah.
Sat around hanging out there for a little bit longer, which was super nice.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That was we went back to the hotel. We got some sleep, and then the next morning, like literally, we had breakfast, and then we both jumped in our cars and got the heck out of there. Yeah, because we knew we were driving all day long to get home. We weren't able to stop and sleep halfway. We were jetting.
Yeah,
we did make a pit stop.
We did.
Home,
yeah, we did make
a pit stop.
So we stopped in a place called. Oh my gosh, what was it called?
Hang on.
Fairborn, Ohio. So Fairborn, Ohio was pretty cool. It was like this little tiny town.
It's known as Halloween Town.
Yes. Yeah. And we had it we got there too early for stores to be
open when we
till
got there.
Noon. So we were like, oh crap. So we had coffee and pie in this little coffee shop, and it was the cutest thing ever.
Like I don't know if you guys it just tiny little town. One street, like if you blink, you miss it.
It was bigger, but the downtown.
Yeah,
was
but
very small,
their downtown core, like just old. It just has that old feel to it. Like, so the reason we went is, my son watches a YouTuber called Carpetbagger, and he was there probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm like, that's kind of on the way to our trip, and this place looks kind of neat. I want to check this out. So the store, there's a guy, he's called Old Man Foy, opened up a shop, kind of like a market store or a grocery store or whatever, back in the 20s, that had bulk candy and all the just when you think about the 20s, I mean, it was probably a soda shop, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But over the years, he got into having. If you go in, he sells 12 months out of the year. If you want something Halloween, he's got it. Like masks, costumes. So in this shop, but then he branched out inside the town on that same area. He has a costume shop, costume rental shop. He has an oddity store, like oddities and curiosity store.
Yeah.
So he basically owns the downtown core. It's kind of a neat thing. He's in September and October he has a haunted house, a haunted that he opens up, and so that was kind of neat to see all that. It was it was a cool stop. It did add a little bit, and we added some time to our trip home, but
and then we stopped at White Castle.
Yeah, because we hit the White Castle
because we do not have White Castle where we are. So we got White Castle, and it was much better this time because we got bacon and cheese on them.
We did bacon and cheese, Jason.
Yeah,
nice.
We learned from our mistake.
But they didn't have. You couldn't sit in there. You had to go through the drive-through. Yeah. It was almost like a repeat of the of the last time. So that was good. Yeah, and then we headed home, and then that was it. That trip was a good way home. So.
Would you like to guess where my pit stop was?
Where was your pit? A brewery.
No.
What? Oh, okay.
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
I made one stop on the way home.
Barbecue.
Stopped at Cave Hill.
Did you?
I was going through my footage of the gravestone of Lily Gilbert, and I was like, I didn't get a good reveal shot.
Oh.
I didn't get a good shot I want to use to be like 1 year later.
Yeah.
I got to go back. And it was like the entire drive, because when I left Lexington, I had to drive through Louisville on my route. I was like, I should do it. I should do it. It's just right there. Yeah. I should do it. Yeah. I should do it. All the way up until there's the exit. And I'm like, I'm doing it. I dove off. So I was there for about maybe 20 minutes. But I got there, and then if you watch the video, the reveal of coming from the tree, and then it reveals.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I got that shot, and then I got a couple other shots that kind of get a little bit more detail in the stone. But yeah, I stopped at Cave Hill on my way out, and then from that forward, I didn't stop except for gas. I just kept going. I got home around maybe about 6 o'clock in the evening, my time. And I think about an hour before that is when you guys got home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do have to say that on the whole trip, I think that was my highlight, being able to see that tombstone a year later. Just it was pretty awesome. It's cool to like I know you talked about it, this stuff works after the fact, I clean it and everything, but it literally looked almost looked like a brand new tombstone.
Yeah, it kills beautiful. The stuff that's in the stone that is growing. Yeah. And that's why it brightens up so much, is because that stuff is just embedded in the stone, and that stuff, it'll just keep killing it off until it just brightens up. If I would have sprayed it a little bit more and cleaned it up more, the next time we go back, it would have been even brighter, I think. But the whole front of that stone was pretty much perfect.
It was beautiful. Yeah. I got even when we found it, I was goosebumps. I was just whoa.
Because it kind of it stands out. Honestly.
Yes, it does.
It's just so bright amongst all the other graying stones.
Yeah.
So that definitely was a highlight for me. I think we had a really good time kind of hunting down all these breweries, even though we didn't get all the stamps. We did have a lot of fun kind of just bouncing from one to the other. I really enjoyed some of the touristy stuff that we did more than I thought I would. And then the distillery was a highlight. That was just a fun stop. That we had. I really enjoyed that. And then I think overall it was the trip itself was just a lot in terms of the go nature of it all.
Yeah.
It wasn't a restful trip. I'll put that out there, because we were just going.
Yeah.
But the fact that we just did so much that we were just I don't even remember all the stuff we did. Because we did so much. That was really fun. I feel like we really kind of did a good job experiencing a lot of Lexington and a lot of variety of what Lexington was. And then it Louisville itself, I feel like we only scratched the surface on Louisville, honestly.
Oh. No, even Lexington too, we only scratched the surface, because that horse museum we would have liked to have gone to, but they had a big derby thing going on.
There was an event, unfortunately, because of the derby. The horse museum / area that's a huge draw to that area was booked for an event they were doing, and you couldn't go there as you normally would, because you had to buy a ticket to that event, which was way more than just a ticket to the museum.
Sorry, not to cut you off, but when we went to that one museum, and we were talking, remember that old lady that was giving us the tour, and she's like, "Oh, so did you go?" And we're like, "No." And she's like, "Well, did you go?" And we're like, "No." Well, what about? No.
Yeah, because she was like, "You guys are out of town," and he's like, "Oh, I'm from Canada." He's from Oklahoma, and she's like, "Oh, so you're here for this?" No. Oh, but you went and visited this place, right? No, we didn't. We didn't get a chance to do that. Well, but you went and saw that, right? No, we didn't get to. No. Well, what are you doing? In front of a tour group. she was like, well, what are you even doing here? And we're like, well, we've been to a lot of cemeteries.
We hit a lot of cemeteries and some breweries. I mean, that's got to count for something.
Not in her eyes, bro.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Just her reaction.
She was unimpressed.
Oh, well, and then when she was trying to explain, like, well, you got to drive down this, this street, right? And we're like, we're not from around here. Like, she's talking.
No.
Like we should know.
Well, then you go down the street, and at the third light, you're going to hit whatever street. You know that street, though, right? No. We don't know that street. She was kind of over us at that point. She was just like, anyway, I'm going to change the subject.
Yeah. That was funny.
She was a great tour guide, though. She was good.
She was fun.
Yeah.
Overall, the trip was great. I unfortunately last year when we went on our big trip investigating, it was Weeping Willow Paranormal, Doof Paranormal, Cemetery Road. When we went and did that trip, and you guys can go back and watch all of our videos on the locations and the behind the scenes stuff. Mm-hmm. I got a new job right after that trip. Like literally I got home, had a week and a half, and then I started a new job that really killed my time off completely. The job I had before gave me a lot of freedom to kind of go as I pleased whenever I wanted. I could work from the road. It was a remote job. It was amazing for that 2.5 years that I did that. Great. But then I got a job that is not that at all. It's almost the complete opposite. Getting time off is almost impossible. I get 2 weeks a year, and it's difficult to plan out when I can leave, when I can do things with people. And I've had people wanting to do stuff. Hey, let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's have some fun here. And I keep having to be like, I can't do that. I don't have the time. Like, nothing personal, but I can't do it. And this was my first vacation since getting that job that I've been able to take. And I'm glad I got to spend it with you guys, that we went off on this crazy adventure. That was just, except for like me filming in cemeteries for the channel, it was just to have fun. And that's really what I needed to go do. Yeah. And now I don't get another vacation until August, and that'll be my last vacation until next year. And in August, I'm going to go visit family. So I don't know what next year holds, but more than likely this kind of a trip, at least with you guys, probably going to have to wait another year or two.
Yeah, that's okay.
It might be like an every other year kind of trip, unless you guys come visit me while I'm still working. But it was great. It was awesome. And again, thank you guys for supporting this channel and making it possible. Not only do you guys make it possible with your guys' support, but you make it possible because this channel exists, really is the reason why our friendship got to the point where I'm just like, my first vacation, I'm going to go visit these guys in some city. So it's kind of a big deal. And it was an awesome trip, and I'm glad we got to share a little bit of it with you guys. I know Ron took some behind-the-scenes shots that may make their way onto YouTube at some point.
And the problem was there was a lot of,
it was a lot of Ron introducing that we're doing something, and never
but not actually any footage.
You need to make those into shorts.
I'm new to this game, guys. I'm new to this game, so it's going to be a lot of maybe shorts. Well,
not even that. Like, we got caught up in the moment of being at the place. Like, you're like, oh yeah, we're here, but then it's like, but then you're in the moment, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like, this trip was really for us to be able to just be together.
Yeah.
Content was kind of secondary to me in terms of Cemetery Road stuff, but like, sometimes you just have to be in that moment. You just have to enjoy the thing you're doing and not constantly be behind a camera looking at it through a lens. I'm sure you guys all understand that. And we were definitely in that zone where we were just like, at the end of the day, I would be like laying down to go to sleep and be like, I didn't film anything of what we did. I took a couple pictures, but other than that, like, we were just, as Dan Tech says, absolutely.
Yes. Friends hanging out.
Friends hanging out. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
because one of the things that sucks, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat understand in this world we live in, there's a lot of friendships we all have that are talking to each other on a screen, hundreds, thousands of miles away. And that's cool that we get to do that. That's awesome. But we don't get to hang out together ever. Like, I can count on one hand how many times I've hung out with these people. And it sucks that we live so far away, but it's also awesome that we still get to connect with each other no matter where we are.
Yeah.
But when we get that chance to be together in person and go have an adventure with not have to worry about work and bills and kids so much, it's always there, but like we get to focus on doing what we want to do, kind of being selfish with our time and our energy. Kind of the last thing you want to do is like, okay, hold on guys, let me just set up the camera here we go. All right, we're gonna do like it kind of I just wasn't in that mood. I wasn't there for that. And but I'm glad we got to sit around and revisit a lot of our adventures on this live stream, which is getting kind of long, guys. It's about a little bit longer than I expected to. If anybody has any quick questions, like rapid fire questions about either the trip or our channels, do so, throw it down in the chat, and then we're going to kind of boogie off. But I know tomorrow night, Cassie and Ron's Weeping Willow Paranormal channel is going to be premiering the first episode of the Conjuring House series.
Yep.
When does that drop?
At 10 p.m. Eastern, so 7 o'clock PST. So I'm freaking excited to get this one out. It's been kind of in the works. Jesus. So
I'm sorry. I don't know why I said it like that.
It's been like, obviously I had to it's been waiting since March basically to get out there. So I'm pretty excited to release it. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm pretty proud of my intro.
I haven't even seen anything yet. She didn't even show me.
So. Well, no, because I was doing it I
know.
And I had to send it to the Conjuring House to get approved, and it's all good.
It's kind of a big deal that they were able, thanks to Joe Vitale of
D7. Thank you, Joe,
hooking them up for this kind of an experience. So share links to her channel on your social medias, guys, in your groups that you hang out with anybody who would be interested in watching some paranormal stuff from a location that they probably heard of, even if it's just through the Conjuring movies. They at least have some sort of an idea of what this location is, and to be able to see what it is in real life compared to like what Hollywood has presented, all that kind of stuff is pretty exciting. So share out that link a bunch for tomorrow's episode, the kickoff episode. And then over the next couple of weeks, as she releases the next one, like really pump up the support of that channel so that she can get the views on that episode, because it's kind of a big deal to go to some of these locations.
Yeah.
So we're always excited when we get a chance to visit these places, to really get it out to as many eyeballs as possible.
Yeah.
For me, I've got some cemetery videos coming out. I was editing today. The next cemetery video, I'll put it out next week. It's the first stop on my journey to Cassie and Ron in Louisville. And then after that, I think I've got like 2 or 3 on the journey up there. And then 3 or 4 of the cemeteries we visited together. I know one probably will be a 2-parter because it was kind of a big location.
Yeah.
But then I do plan on doing some live streams here in the next couple of weeks, probably like every other week type of idea, and then just hanging out with you guys. Make sure you're following us on the social medias. Mostly, I think we both kind of like focus on Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
We like throwing down videos and photos on there. So make sure you're following us over there. Julie says, good night, everyone. I'm going to start packing for my Alaskan trip Saturday.
Ooh, fun.
Sounds fun, Julie. Have fun.
Dan Tex says, this has been a blast, Jason, Cassie, and Ron. Make sure you're following Dan Tex on Instagram, because he does provide a lot of links and support to a bunch of paranormal channels all over the place. So if you're like, I don't know what to watch, I don't know what people recommend, Dan Tex usually is pretty good about showcasing those who who are worth your time and effort. And then always, make sure you're following our friends Crow of Judas, Entity 7 Paranormal, Side Eye Guy. I'm sure I'm missing.
Paranormal Seekers, Boo Productions, Fantastic. Yep. There's so many now. Stay tuned. Actually, I use Stay Tuned's music as my background for my intro.
Oh, interesting.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. If nobody has any questions, or if you do have questions, you can email us. You can message us. You can leave them in comments on this video or over on Cassie and Ron's channel. That way, we can reach out and chit chat with you guys. But thanks for hanging out with us for this ramble fest that was this thing. I'm going to post on my Instagram a little series of photos from the trip, some of the food, some of the cemeteries, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to post that here in a few minutes. So be sure over there on the Cemetery Road on Instagram. And then, you know what, guys, just keep supporting these channels. Keep supporting those creators that are providing you with escapes from life. But until then, be safe, be respectful. Cassie and Ron, it was awesome hanging out with you guys tonight and in Kentucky, and I hope to do it again soon. But we got to go. We got to go, guys. And I hope you guys stay safe, stay respectful, all that kind of stuff once again. And we will talk to you on the next one, which will probably be in about a week. But again, Conjuring House, episode 1, tomorrow night. Weeping Willow Paranormal. I will probably not. I'll be asleep. But I'm team rewatch. I'm team rewatch because I can't wait to see what she came up with. We will talk to you later. Bye.